Hello everyone. So I've seen this on Grip Media and I've heard about it before over the years, but the government have renewed it, and this is the Yellow Flag program, in terms of Irish people being right privileged. I get into all that now in a second, but I will leave a link in the description to it if you want to find out more. But I just want to cover my thoughts on it, I suppose. First of all, it's inherently racist to say that other people are more privileged because of the colour of their skin. And second of all, Irish people are not privileged. What are you on about? What kind of reality do you live in? Irish people have suffered like more than nearly any other country in Europe. 800 years of British occupation. We were faminised during the 1840s. There was a genocide here in this country. The British took out wheat, etc., and Irish people were left to starve because of the potato famine, the potato blight, where they were exported, and a million Irish people left. And still to this day, there's young people like myself in their 20s, even younger, have no hope of ever owning a house. So what privilege do they have? And in a lot of cases, people my age are sleeping on couches. So what privilege does Irish people have? Like teaching kids that you have to be ashamed to be Irish and stuff. That's pretty much what it is. It's pretty much race shaming in a way, and it's pretty much trying to put people against each other. That's what it's all about. Dividing people in a way too, but not even that. It's pretty much saying to Irish people that it lies, because let's be fair, we're not privileged. We're not like countries in the Middle East that have tons of money because of oil, etc., or Liechtenstein or Luxembourg. Irish people are suffering. So many Irish people are suffering. While everybody else comes in and gets handed. If you want to go with that privilege, we can go there. But let's put it that way. There's no privilege. Irish people have no privilege. My grandmother, my family didn't have privilege. They didn't have much privilege. Never came from. I didn't come from a well-off family. We had to work for it. We didn't get anything handed to us, and we weren't privileged. We had nothing handed to us on silver plate, and we never did. And no, the majority of Irish people, we had to go and work for our money, the same as our grandfathers before us. There was no such thing as the Irish state or the British government coming with free stuff, etc. So Irish people are not privileged, and Irish people still to this day are suffering. Imagine saying that 100 years ago, 1916, that the current government, what they're doing at the moment, is nearly what the British government were doing back then, in terms of what they were trying to do in this country, and still what the Irish government, imagine our own government, is getting as bad as them in a way. But I do think it's inherently racist. First of all, when we go down that line, that they're trying to say look over here and look there about racism, etc. And not even that too, because to be totally honest, the Irish people have no privilege. Like, let's be fair, we have no privilege whatsoever. Like, look at the homeless numbers. Look at the amount of young people sleeping on couches. Look at the amount of people waiting to try and get a house. And look at the amount of Irish people having to leave to go to another country because they have nothing. They've literally nothing to stay for. They can't get a job, they can't get a mortgage, they can't get anything. So, to use the term that Irish people have white privilege is a very far stretch. Because I wouldn't mind if we were all very privileged, had big houses and big cars, etc. But that's not the case. For particularly young people like myself, there's very little. We're not privileged. We get nothing handed to us. I have to go and work for my money. There's no such thing as free handouts from the government. And because I'm Irish, let's put it that way. Because I'm Irish too, the Irish government inherently hates their own citizens, and it's proven time and time again. We've seen with the recent ad from the Department of Housing that they hate their own citizens. They hate their own people. They hate their own young people, particularly. They absolutely hatred. I mean, that's what the video was about, pretty much, from the department. To move back in with your parents, sleep on your couch, go back into your box, and sleep in your box on the floor and stuff like that. That's what the Department of House and the local government were telling us to do. The young people of Ireland. Not that things will get better and stuff. Go back to your parents and sleep in your box. What kind of privilege is that? Like, somebody answer that, because I don't know. And even my grandfather, etc., they didn't have any privilege. They had to walk to school barefoot, and they had to leave school. Even my father, take was able to leave school at 14. What privilege did he have? And he had to work in a sawmill at 14 years old and get fingers chopped off. There's no such thing as health and safety. Work long hours. What privilege did he have? He didn't get anything on a silver plate. No, many of Irish people, they didn't get it on a silver plate. They had to go and work for it. There was no such thing as privilege, and it's ridiculous to state that Irish people are privileged, white privilege, etc. And it is just pretty much trying to divide people. That's what this whole government program's about, is division. It's trying to stop division, and it's trying to create more anger that's already in Irish society. But yes, this is NGOs, of course, pushing it very heavily. But yeah, I would leave a link to this. But there's many other things we could cover in terms of it. But I think it's utterly ridiculous. Like, whatever about any other country, you could say about the southern United States, etc. But Irish people, come on now. Whatever about any other country in Europe, and in England you could argue maybe, but what could you argue here? Irish people suffered for 800 years under British occupation and suffered through a famine, and many times rebellions been put down harshly by the British Cromwell. And you're sitting here and telling me that we're inherently privileged. Like, are you mad? Like, nothing was ever handed. Like, the way they're talking about, you think everything was handed on the plates to the Irish people throughout the generations. That wasn't the case. And it's an indictment on Irish history that they're trying to rewrite history to say, oh, look, Irish people are too privileged and stuff. Of course, we are privileged compared to other parts of the world that are in poverty, etc. But a lot of Irish people are in poverty too, to be totally honest. But we are inherently, better off than a lot of countries. I will admit that. But to say that we're privileged is a very understatement, because people are not getting what they deserve. There's people waiting on hospital lists for donkey's years, left to what. So I don't know what privilege they have. I would wonder would Simon House ever address that. But anyway, let me know what you think. Subscribe for more and bye.